have you guys really zero in though, because the reason that you do not want to have an autocrat, the reason you do not want to give autocratic powers to any president, whether you like them or not, whether you find them entertaining or not, whether they were on your favorite reality show or not, is that it means that they individually, as an individual person, and their minions, people like Stephen Miller and Tom Homan, can individually decide whether you're a citizen or not, and can decide when you're no longer a citizen and when they're no longer interested in giving you rights. And let me give you the ultimate example of that, and that is Elon Musk. Elon Musk bought that White House for Donald Trump. He purchased the White House for Trump for his own purposes because he wanted that tax cut, which he's going to get. He enjoys massive amounts of defense contracts that have made him a billionaire. He is only a billionaire. Let's just be clear. He is the world's richest man because of his government subsidies that he's gotten from the United States. Taxpayer money has made him the richest man in the world. And he also has a bigger megaphone than anyone else because those billions allowed him to buy X Twitter, to get it from Jack, and to turn it into a megaphone for his own views, and to turn it into an instrument to elect Donald Trump. But now what's happened is he's used that instrument to align himself with fascism, something his grandparents will probably be familiar with, given his history in South Africa and their history in South Africa. But now everyone knows who he is. They've seen who he is from that Don Lemon interview where he admitted that he thinks racism would just go away if black people would just shut the hell up, and on and on and on, to where he talked about ketamine use and all of that. He's been exposed. It's hurt Tesla. It's made that brand less valuable. People do not want Teslas. They're not buying them in Europe. They're not buying them in Canada. It's hurt his business, his bottom line. But also, even though he created Doge supposedly to rip $2 trillion out of the budget to make room for the tax cut for himself and Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg, etc. Even though he did that, he couldn't get to the $2 trillion. They got like $100 billion here and there. They didn't do their job. And now Doge might be coming for him. Doge might be coming for him. Here is what Elon Musk tweeted on the 28th of June. Quote, "The latest Senate draft bill will destroy millions of jobs in America and cause immense strategic harm to our country, utterly insane and destructive. It gives handouts to industries of the past while severely damaging industries of the future." That is the Elon tweet from June 28th. Now, why did he tweet that? He was actually retweeting a guy named Jesse D. Jenkins. I have no idea who that is. But it says the new Senate draft raises taxes on all wind and solar projects that haven't begun construction today unless they are placed in service by the end of 2027 and navigate complex, likely unworkable requirements. So basically, they're cutting new energy subsidies, and they're also cutting things that benefit Elon Musk's new business, electric cars. The electric vehicle subsidies that used to be just de rigueur, normal. During the Biden administration, he apparently hated Biden, but Biden was supplementing those electric vehicles and supplementing the electric vehicle charging stations. All right, we're gonna go to that segment in a hot second. But let me just put up. This is the Elon tweet. If we could just put that up real quick. The new tweet from June 30th, this is after that, June 30th, Elon Musk then tweets, "If this insane spending bill passes, the America Party will be formed the next day. Our country needs an alternative to the Democrat-Republican uniparty so that people actually have a voice." Say what, Elon? You paid to elect Donald Trump and to elect Republicans. Even your own Grok makes it very clear when people were asking Grok to explain what's happening. This is what his own AI said. The Senate draft bill from June 2025 reduces wind and solar tax credits, phasing them out by 2028 with a 40% cut in 2026 and 80% in 2027. It imposes new taxes on these projects post-2027 unless they avoid Chinese materials. A tough requirement. EV tax credits end by September 30, 2025. Nuclear and hydropower incentives extend to 2036. And a new coal tax credit. Coal. They're trying to shore up coal. Tax credit runs through 2029. They're going to shore up dirty coal. Critics warn of job losses and higher pollution, while supporters argue it aligns with market-driven tax reforms. The bill's final impact is uncertain. Debates continue. So he's losing his stuff. He gets the tax cut, and he's, I'm sure, happy about that. His businesses get the tax cut, but he's losing all the juicy subsidies for the things that his businesses create. And he complained about it publicly, just like he did before when he said, Trump's in the Epstein files. And now if we could just very quickly play Donald Trump's reaction to the guy who bought him the White House, the guy who put him in a position to guac money off the public dime by becoming a billionaire off of crypto and Trump phones and Trump fragrance, and all the grifts he's doing are only possible because Elon Musk bought him back into the White House. Here is Donald Trump responding to Elon Musk's criticism of his bill.
The rest. We got a lot of hostages back, but we're going to talk about that. I don't know. I think we'll have to take a look. We might have to put Doge on Elon. You know what Doge is? Doge is the monster that might have to go back and eat Elon. Wouldn't that be terrible? He gets a lot of subsidies, Peter. But Elon's very upset that the EV mandate is going to be terminated. And you know what? When you look at it, not everybody wants an electric car. I don't want an electric car. I want to have maybe gasoline, maybe electric, maybe a hybrid, maybe someday a hydrogen. If you have a hydrogen car, it has one problem. It blows up, So I'm going to give that one to Peter. I'm going to let Peter test it out.
Surprise, 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 surprise. It turns out whenever Donald Trump is sick of you and done with you, he's done. And he now is threatening to deport Elon Musk and saying that he may have to Doge Elon Musk. He may have to take away his special subsidies, which are the things that make him rich. So even Elon Musk, despite having purchased the White House for Donald Trump, is not safe from a king-like president who can decide whether you are a citizen or not on a whim. And please remind yourself, please, that Elon Musk's younger brother said in an interview that the two of them did together that they at one point were undocumented immigrants, that they came here as students, overstayed their visas, and violated the terms of their student visas by starting a business that then got funded, and they were not supposed to do that. Elon Musk denied they were ever undocumented immigrants, but the brother says they were. And Donald Trump could now use that, in theory, to deport him, trading him in for the white Afrikaners that he brought in, who will be super quiet and stay in a hotel. Let's go on to our next guest. LaMonica McIver is a congressman from the great state of New Jersey. You've heard her name, I'm sure, on this program included because she was arrested, or she was charged, I should say, with a crime for attempting to protect an elder member of the United States House who was being shoved by ICE agents while federal agents were arresting Ras Baraka, who is the mayor of Newark, New Jersey. But she has shown up to continue to do her job because that is what a good representative does. She is still on the job. LaMonica McIver, Congresswoman LaMonica McIver, thank you and welcome to the show.
Hey, Joy, it's good to see you. How are you?
I'm blessed and highly favored, like they say. I'm surviving the fascist nightmare, which is like my new answer to everything, right? Vertical and grateful. Yes, ma'am. Let's first talk about what is going on with your case.
So many folks know I showed up to court last week for an arraignment. We had finally got an arraignment date and I pleaded not guilty because I'm not guilty. And now it is a process played out in the court moving forward to trial date, which we're really looking forward to. You know, there's a bunch of deadlines for discovery and all of that that is occurring. But the trial date, I think that was set by the judge is November at this point. And we're really looking forward to that date to get in to, have the facts laid out, which, I believe that is on my side. And so we look forward to putting those out and really moving this process forward.
I feel like what happened to you and what happened to the senator from California, this is a trend. It seems to me that the current regime is trying to make a statement that they are willing to arrest and even deport members of Congress. There's already been a threat from the current president to remove the citizenship from the newly named Democratic candidate for mayor of New York City, essentially saying that Mr. Mamdani, he will just take his citizenship away and maybe deport him as well. What do you make of that tactic of this current regime and of the Republican Party using immigration in that way? Because couldn't that be reversed if there was ever a Democrat that was willing to play the same game, which, in theory, maybe there never will be. But let's just say there was. Couldn't they just do that in reverse and start arresting Republican members of Congress for, supporting January 6th insurrections?
Absolutely. I mean, they could if we wanted to be that low or we were that petty like Donald Trump, or cruel, shall I say, because Trump and his administration, everything that they do is cruel. It's about cruelty. Everything that their agenda is based around cruelty. And that is what they do each and every day. It's a pattern that we see every day with elected officials or people that disagree with them, who, are critics of them, who hold them accountable. You constantly see this behavior from them. Like, what has this Democratic nominee done to them other than speak truth to power, run for office, win successfully, and now he says, oh, we're going to take away this person's citizenship. Like, I mean, come on. Like, first of all, it's just what we've been seeing of this administration, restricting people of their due process, being corrupt and cruel. And we can expect more and more of that from this administration. It's the situation with my case. It was the situation with the senator, situation with the judge. I mean, constantly, over and over again, we're going to continue to see them do these cruel and corrupt things.
Yeah, I almost forgot they arrested a judge as well. And all of these arrests, yours included, all center around anyone who resists mass deportation, anyone who tries to stand in the way of ICE rousting non-white people and essentially conducting what definitely feels like an attempt at ethnic cleansing. They want fewer brown people, fewer black people, fewer Asians, and they want to try to rinse out the immigration sort of cohort of anyone who isn't white, while they're importing Afrikaners. Inside of Congress, when you just talk to members on the other side, behind the scenes, do they see this? Do they know this? Or are they pretending that this is normal?
I mean, the one thing I would say is also to add to what you just said, Joy, it's also people who are doing their job. He wants to intimidate them into not doing their job, because we were not at Delaney Hall for a protest or to go there and, do this whole demonstration. We were there for an oversight visit. Like, I always make that clear for people. We went there to do our job as members of Congress, to show up, which we've done before. And they were mad about that. Like, they don't want you to hold them accountable. They don't want you to see what they're doing. Like, what are you hiding if you won't let us in to do our jobs, which is an oversight visit at a detention center? So that's a given point about that. If you're doing your job and you holding them accountable, they're going to try to intimidate you and bully you as well. But also, too, I think on the other side, it is very clear that the Republicans have sold their soul to Donald Trump. They are more worried about serving Donald Trump than serving the people that have voted for them. And that is very, very scary. I always say, like, this isn't even the Republican Party. This is the MAGA Party.
Yeah.
This is a totally new party, and this is how they're operating. And they don't give a damn about their constituents. They don't give a damn about people calling their offices, talking about their Medicaid, talking about their SNAP benefits. They are doing exactly what Donald Trump wants them to do. And I think that, because I'm always optimistic, right? You got to be optimistic in this business. And as a leader, I'm always thinking someone out of one of them want to do better. They can be better. They want to do what's right. But at the same time, this culture that they're in, this MAGA culture, they're very scared to do so. They feel like they can't have the courage, the political courage, to stand up for the very people who elected them. And that is why they're silent. That is why they're doing everything that this administration tells them to do.
Yeah, Mitt Romney was very clear that anyone who opposes Donald Trump gets immediate death threats. The far right, the people who are in the MAGA movement, they call themselves Christians, but they're armed to the teeth, and they threaten to kill any Republican member who doesn't do as he's told, who doesn't obey Donald Trump. So some of them are actually physically afraid. And they're afraid to face their own base because they know that some of them are dangerous. They saw what happened on January 6th, where they too were at risk of being killed by MAGA people. And last question for you, Congresswoman. In this hideous bill, I call it the big billionaire bust down, but people can call it many other things other than that official name, which, by the way, is stupid. I'm sorry if you feel ridiculous when you hear people name that bill on the floor. I mean, it was kind of brilliant marketing because it forces all of the anchors on every TV news outlet to repeat that silly name, which we never really say names of bills, but to repeat that silly, silly name. And it makes it sound, if you don't know any better, like it might be a great bill. Right?
Correct.
So it's sort of evil genius, but it's a stupid name. What are the things in that bill that for your constituents in your congressional district would be the most harmful?
For me, first of all, I call it the corrupt and cruel bill because that's exactly what it is. I mean, the fact that they parade around and call it beautiful is crazy. But for me in New Jersey, I represent the least wealthiest district in New Jersey. And so cuts to Medicaid, cuts to SNAP benefits, to school lunch programs, that is going to be a really, really big problem for my district. I mean, people literally will die without health care that they rely on. They keep on, I heard a lot of people across the aisle today, my colleagues saying, hey, this is just making people work, for Medicaid. And it's like, what are you talking about? People already work. There's the working poor. Have you ever heard of it, where they're working every day, but they cannot afford their private health insurance? So they're on Medicaid. Like, they work. Like, what are you talking about? And so when we take away coverage to these people, when we say we're not going to provide SNAP benefits, I mean, we're doing just extreme harm to families throughout my district. And it's going to just hit rock bottom. I mean, we're going to see a collapse in our health system in New Jersey big time. And I must say, it's not just Democratic districts that are going to lose, Medicaid coverage. I have 3 Republicans in New Jersey, which one of them have more Medicaid recipients than I do in my district. And so this is going to be a large failure for many, many states, but specifically for New Jersey, where we're going to see federally qualified health centers have to close their doors. We're going to see urgent cares have to close their doors. I mean, it's going to be crazy. And it's cruel. Like, why are we doing this? Like, why? What's the point?
Well, the point is, for Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Ackman, all of the rich guys need more and more and more tax cuts. They can't get enough money. They can never have enough. They need more and more and more permanent tax cuts for them, and it's going to be paid for by your constituents and other people on Medicaid. Poor people, rural people, they're going to have to bear the brunt so that these people can have $52 million weddings in Venice. Somebody's got to pay for it. Congresswoman LaMonica McIver, please come back. Keep us up to date on your case. You're welcome here anytime.
Will do. Thank you so much, Joy. It's so great to see you again. Take care.
Thank you so much. Great to see you as well. Thank y'all for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe. Share this channel. Make sure that everybody subscribes to the YouTube channel. 70% of people are lurking, watching these shows and not subscribing. Why would you do that? So make sure that you like, subscribe, and throw some comments in. Thank you all for joining the Joy Reid Show. See you on the next one, and goodbye for now.